We're back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Thomas Annunziata, of course, who
Hey
will,
guys.
what's up? He will be, of course, driving for Hickson Motorsports in the Mazda MX-5 Cup this weekend. Everyone's favorite racing series is back. And of course, they kick off at Daytona Thursday and Friday. You can watch it on Peacock, by the way. And if you haven't seen these cars race, especially at Daytona, you are in for a treat because these cars, these races are something else. Thomas, how are you, bud?
How are you?
I am doing well. So what's it going to be like driving for the MX-5 Cup? Last time we talked to you, you were getting ready for the scholarship shootout. You did fairly well. You didn't win it, but you had a pretty solid day.
Yeah, it was a good day. At the end of the day, it was just whoever had the better package, and Nate ended up having the better package. But yeah, I'm excited to be in the MX-5 Cup for 2023. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be super close. I mean, you got all 30 guys in one pack, so it's gonna be down to where I put the car and whether it's the right spot or not, and finishing up high in every race possible.
So coming into this race, knowing that it gets crazy at Daytona. I'm pretty sure you've watched all the races last year.
Yeah.
Uh, what's it gonna be like to just be out there?
It's gonna be a madhouse. I mean, you could lose in the final 100 200 feet of this race. Like it all matters, but it doesn't all really matter till the last lap. And if you put yourself in the right spot in the last lap, it will matter. But I mean, I've got a lot of teammates. I'm not sure how many will be up front. The goal is to be up front, obviously, but depending on who's fast or not, we could work with each other and help each other stay in the mix up front and wait to pounce in the end. But never does anything go to plan at Daytona usually. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure we'll see a few underdog things happen. I'm sure some of the big guys won't have the greatest races, but it's Daytona, baby. So we'll find out.
Yeah, of course you're running for Hickson Motorsports. Of course they're going to have a bunch of cars out there, a bunch of teammates, bunch of teams that
Done.
can go for the win. What's it going to be like to
Yep.
part of that? Because it's kind of like HMD, of course, in Indy Next. It's a lot of cars.
It is a lot of cars. It's going to be a lot of mind games. There's going to be a lot of situations where guys behind me don't work with me because their teammates next to me or their teammates in front of me or wherever they are. It's going to be a lot of favoring for teammates, and you just need friends out there. That's really it. You need friends out there, and if you don't have friends out there, teammates, etc., it's not gonna work out. So we're gonna have to obviously talk and have a game plan and figure out what we're going to do in certain situations, and when that time comes, hopefully it's the right decision.
Have you had a chance to talk with anybody, or have those conversations kind of started?
Yeah, a little bit. Me and Connor, when we were at the test day, me and Connor and Newdorf were really quick, and we were working together, and I believe we put in the fastest time of the test day in Daytona. So we talked about it. I know there's a rule out there now that you can't lock bumpers with people at Daytona this weekend. So you could hit people, you could bump people, but you can't lock. So I, I don't know. It's just going to be, we're going to obviously work with each other, but we can't, you know, push fully. So
That's you know what that reminds me of, locking bumpers. It sounds like remember the Xfinity series and Truck series. You
yeah,
don't do that either.
there's
Um,
still, I think it's still like that.
it is still like that. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. I should know. But overall, to get this opportunity, I know, when we first had you on, you were just a kid from New Jersey wanting to chase this racing dream that you've always had.
Yep.
Now to see it kind of come true in racing, anybody that's anybody wants to race at the World Center of Racing in Daytona, and now you have that opportunity to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm super excited. It's been on the bucket list for a really long time. I actually did race there one time, but in the lower division series. But I mean, I grew up watching NASCAR, and so NASCAR was a big part of my life growing up. And you see the Daytona 500. It's coming up now, and it's always been the biggest names. You got my favorite drivers winning the Daytona 500, and to be racing on the same track, asphalt, whatever you want to call it, um, this weekend was going to be crazy. I mean, on TV, it's literally everything I've dreamed of. So hopefully, I put on a good show and put my name out there.
Yeah, for sure. So kind of, I know we had you on a few months ago, but kind of remind the audience about who you are. Just your background, how you got into racing. I mean,
Uh, well, I'm 17 now. I started racing at 10 years old. My dad started drag racing like 20 years ago, and him and his dad used to drag race. So racing was always in my blood. Uh, whatever movie it came down to, Lightning McQueen, Cars, doesn't matter what it was. I was always into cars. And eventually, my dad finally took me indoor go karting, and it's not too big of a deal. You just crash into everything, but I loved it, and so my dad got me into the outdoor go kart stuff. We did some local karting. One started to win races and championships in there. We progressed into the national karting series, and ended up winning national titles and winning national races. And now it was becoming very serious. And my dad decided to continue to put money into me, seeing that there was something there. And I won both national titles in Spec MX-5 last year. Uh, Finished third in my first ever TA2 race. Um, and I will be running the MX-5 Cup and Trans Am TA2 series this year.
oh yeah, of course, I forgot about that. You're also running Trans Am as well.
Yep.
Um, that's gonna be huge for you. What's that gonna be like?
I'm not gonna be able to run the full season because I have the MX-5 Cup season, and there's two races that overlap. So it's a 12 race season. I'll be running 10 of those races, and I'll be with Nitro Motorsports again for 2023.
So you know what the funny thing is? Your teammate Connor Zilic is also running TA2 this year as well.
I know.
Committed to the full TA2 season, and he'll be running part time in the MX5 Cup for Hickson Motorsports, your teammate. And of course,
Yep.
if you know, that Connor Zilic interview, we talked to him a few weeks ago, so go check that one out. So, but overall, your feelings. Are you nervous about this weekend?
Not nervous, but you know, again, it's Daytona, so you just gotta. I'm not looking to bin it or win it because there's a whole championship on the line. But to come out with two strong finishes here at Daytona would be a perfect start to the MX-5 Cup season because every point matters. And here, so many things could go wrong, so many times. I mean, it's just the nature of the racetrack. It's the nature of the beast. So, uh, yeah, two strong finishes would be great.
Yeah, for sure. And then just finally, you're going into this race. What's it going to be like making that first lap? What are you going to be feeling like when you finally get out there?
Uh, First lap of practice or first lap of the race?
First lap of the race, because I think you've already. We'll get yeah.
Yeah, the first. I mean, it really depends on where I start. If I start in the back, the nerves are high. I got to stay out of trouble. If I start in the mid pack or front, it'll be different. But the nerves will definitely be high because you got to place your car right. Because even on lap one, if no one wants to work with you, you could go from pole position to P20 in one lap, depending on who works with who. So, yeah, definitely nerves will be high, but a little bit of defending and just trying to keep some position in the first couple laps to really let the rest of the race play out.
All right. Well, Thomas, thank you so much for coming on and spending a few minutes with us. Best of luck this weekend in Daytona.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Casey.